But I'll tell you right now, I hate colds. I hate colds with a passion. I hate colds. And a head cold, you can't get rid of it. Most of the time I get them, they go in my chest, I'm out for months. Luckily, I've kept this one in my head, but I've had it for 4 freaking days. This is day 5. I'm tired of it. It needs to go away. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this Walther PPK. Now, we are going to do a complete disassembly on this slide and frame, but we're going to do that in another video, and I'm going to tell you why, because there's a lot to this little gun, and I don't want the video taking up like an hour or more, or 45 minutes or whatever, so we'll probably do that in 2 parts. But I want to get a video out here talking a little bit about this particular one and Walther PPKs in general. Now, this one, as you can tell, is not a new one. It's got some age on it, 70 some odd years, and it is chambered in 32 auto. And the Walther PPKs come in 32 auto and 380. And a lot of people will recognize this as James Bond's gun, and it is the one that he uses. Now, this particular model right here is a World War II era Walther PPK, and I can tell that by the marks that are on it, or the proof markings that are on it. If you've watched my channel for a while, and especially if you were subbed to me under the Armory Guild, you'll know that this is my favorite gun that I have in my collection, or my arsenal, or whatever else it is that I might want to call it, my guns or my stuff or whatever, my shooting devices. This is the favorite one I have, and it's not because it's my best shooter or the most accurate. It is extremely accurate, and it is a good little shooter, but it's because it was my dad's gun, and he willed it to me when he passed away. And kind of a neat story how we ended up with it, and because of what it is. About mid-60s, 65, something like that, Dad was wanting a small gun to keep in the house, and he wanted one that Mom could handle should she have to shoot it, as far as so that it wouldn't recoil back out of her hand. She was not a very large statured woman. So he found this in a pawn shop in a little middle Arkansas town, and I want to say he paid $10 for it. It was either 10 or 12. One of those two, and I cannot remember which one. And he walked out the door with it. And that was really back before they did really any kind of paperwork or anything else. At least they didn't on him. So he paid it and he left with it. And he knew that it was a Walther. He knew it was a 32, but he didn't really know anything else about it. And years later, when we were living in Mississippi, he took it to a gun store and asked the guy, said, "Can you tell me a little bit about this?" And he was curious because of the proof marks that were on it. Now, the proof marks that are on this one, on the slide, on the chamber housing, also on the barrel, there is an eagle sitting over a letter N. The letter N indicates that it was tested with nitro or smokeless powder. And the eagle sitting on top of it indicates that it was made sometime after April of 1940 and before September of 1941, or 45, excuse me. So in that 5-year frame was when this firearm was made. So it was a German issue firearm. Now, he did tell him that. He didn't go into specifics about what all other kind of proof marks could or on other models. This one also has a proof mark on the other side behind the trigger on this frame right here. And down in the description, there's a link, guys, to my Flickr account. I've got some close-ups of these proofs, so you'll be able to see them real close. You can look at them there. This has an eagle sitting on top of a cross, followed by a letter C. Now, that indicates that this was a police assignment. And so this was a police issue, probably civilian police. Could have been Gestapo. Doubt it. Because most Gestapos and most of the ones that were issued to anyone that was in the German army were an eagle sitting on top of a swastika. And the Gestapo ones actually had RZM right here by where it says Mod PPK, had RZM written in here somewhere. Most of them. Now, could this have actually seen action in a German officer's hands? It could have, because if the police officer that had it was drafted into the German army, a lot of them took their sidearms with them. So it could have. Don't know if it did or not, so I don't even want to speculate on it. but we do know that it was made sometime between 1940 and 1945, and it was a German issue. This is all still original. This is the original grips, the original finish. Even still has, hopefully you can see that right there, still has some red ink on it still, right there where the safety is. This one is, of course, it's unloaded, not a magazine in it. Now the magazine, I do have the original magazine. This is a Metgar mag. It got to where it wouldn't feed. And about every second or third round it would jam. Failure to feed. So tried everything we could with it. We tried adjusting the mags or the magazine with it and everything. It's finally ordered a new magazine. I got another one on order now. Ordered a new magazine for it. It'll feed all 7 rounds right out of there without missing a lick. So magazine, the original magazine, which I do still have, will keep, is just worn beyond use. A lot of cracks in this grip from here and on the back side and on this side as well. There's a big crack through here, but it's still very, very stout. When you take it off, it's extremely sturdy plastic, whatever it's made out of. And so I would like to change the grip, as far as I would like to have a different grip to put on it, just to take it out and shoot and keep this one from getting messed up any further. But them things are expensive, and they're proud of them, and I can't really find one that I think would look good on here anyway. So I haven't really pursued that. I don't carry this weapon. I have once or twice, but I don't carry it, and I won't anymore, because if you ever do have to use it, you may end up losing it, and I certainly don't want to lose this. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me. It's extremely accurate for what it is. At 30 yards, it'll put them easily within your fist. It does have fixed sights on it, and it's pretty innovative for the time. It has a decocker on it. When you pull it down on safety, it decocks it, and it also disengages the trigger. It has a chamber indicator that will stick out here and let you know if there's a round in the chamber. When you put it back up on ready to fire, it goes into double action, and it is double or single action. Now the double action pull is very, very stout. I'm going to say it's at least 10-12 pounds, but it's very steady. Single action, very little creep to it, and it breaks real quick. And so it's probably 2.5-3 pounds tops. Very, very easy to shoot, especially in single action, and like I said, it's extremely accurate. Now to tear this weapon down, you start with the trigger guard, pull it down, and pull it over to the left side of the frame. It'll move just a little bit, and it'll rest. This notch will rest on the bottom part of the frame. At that point, it's easier to go ahead and cock it, push the slide all the way to the rear, lift up, and let it come forward, and it slides right off. And that basically, you can take the spring off of it too. That's your fill strip. That's your basic fill strip of the firearm right there, guys. If you're going to clean it. Now when we take it down all the way, I'll show you how to remove the rest of it, and we'll put it back together as well. But that's it. The spring is same size on both ends, but this has almost where it started to double the coil again. You want that toward the end of the slide, so it has something flat to ride on, and you put it back together the same way. Have the trigger guard resting on the frame. Now some people will pull that down and they'll put their finger in it like this to hold it. You knock yourself out. That's a lot of pressure on it. But it's made, and even in the manual it says rest it on the frame. So you get ready to put it back together. The slide goes on, push it to the rear, let it fall back on, and bring it forward. And then you're ready to fire. Very, very simple. It's easy to tear down. Now it is a fixed frame. So the barrel is fixed. It's a fixed barrel. That means it's fixed to the frame, that it doesn't tilt. It's a basic blowback design. And with the exception of maybe some minor cosmetic changes on the newer ones, and maybe a few modern parts on the inside, the basic design of this firearm has not changed. It's still relatively the same as it was. Very, very accurate. But it is my favorite because it was my dad's, and that's how we ended up with it. Is it very, very, very valuable? It just depends. If you had a good collector or somebody that really, really wanted one of these, I've seen these that are actually in a little bit worse condition than these go for about $700. This one may draw that much, but to me it's worth a lot more than that. I don't intend to ever sell it, but I'll just hand this down, and hopefully we can just keep it in the family from there. But that's it. That's an overlook of the Walther PPK. I have 32 auto. They do come in 380 as well. I may have mentioned that, but that's mine, and that's what it is. Now, next time around, we'll probably do this in 2 parts, guys. I'll probably do the slide disassembly first, explain each part, and we'll put it back together, and then we'll do the frame separate. Because like I said, there's a lot of pieces in this, and I don't want that video getting too long, but that's coming up. And so there it is for right now, guys. That's all I got. Hey, talk to you guys down the road. Later.